This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
We are joined once again by Kristina Terzieva. Excited. She's the Astraea Healing Connection, the founder and owner. And we're excited today to talk a little about creative energy as the essence of healing. As she says, within all of us, there lies a reservoir of creative energy, the expression of which we most associate with arts, be it visual or performing or crafts, but its healing potential really factors in our mindset. So we're going to get to this and so much more during our session today. First and foremost, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you for having me again on the show. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Great. Would you mind just giving us a little overview about what you do with your company?
Yes, as you mentioned in the introduction, I'm the founder and owner of Astraea Healing Connection, which is a holistic health practice that incorporates three modalities: Reiki in the traditional Usui form, sound healing, and voice spectrum analysis. All services are conducted virtually via Zoom, and since I'm based on the continental East Coast of the United States, all services run on my time. You can find me on most social media platforms these days, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And my website is www.astraeahealingconnection.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. So let's break down a little bit about, creative energy as essence healing. Please continue.
I would start by saying that some time ago, I came across a quote which resonated with me deeply, and the quote came from Albert Schweitzer. For those people who may not be familiar with the name, he's a German French philosopher of the late 19th, early 20th century. But aside from philosophy, he dabbled in many trades, including medicine, music, you name it. So he came to discover that creative energy is the essence of all healing. And so he says, we physicians do nothing, we only help and encourage the physician within. That said, this quote stood out to me on many levels, but mostly because I had arrived at a very similar conclusion based on my own path of energy healing. As a holistic health practitioner, I normally place the emphasis on healing myself first. This is how I find I can be most helpful to other people as well. And regardless of where each of us may be on our soul journey, I know that we always seek to find ways to shift and up-level our energy, releasing old patterns, energy blockages that restrict the flow of this life force energy within us. And ultimately, we seek to make ourselves whole, to improve ourselves, and releasing such obstructions could have a profound impact on our overall well-being. Due to the interconnectedness of our energy cells, a shift in one area often generates a ripple effect throughout the field. So during my own personal meditation practice, I accidentally stumbled across and dissolved an energy blockage in the area of the sacral chakra, which is an energy center around the level of the navel. Through this experience, I made two unexpected, shall I say, findings. For one, I gained a newly found appreciation for our creative energy as a limitless source, which we can tap into and direct towards healing, similar to the energy of love or even Reiki. And second, I also realized there is a domino effect from this release, as it revealed to me a tight connection between the second and the fifth chakras, or between our creative energy and our voice, believe it or not. The fifth chakra, which is an energy center right around the throat area, also is very tightly connected, I would say, with the second chakra, as I mentioned. And these discoveries influenced my understanding of how I could incorporate my creative energy into the holistic health modalities that I offer, namely Reiki and sound healing. Previously, I had experience in offering healing with love energy, and it has made an impactful difference. As a Reiki practitioner, I have occasionally incorporated love's healing energy when practicing on myself and others. And now I discovered that creative energy that we tap into through our sacral chakra could be similarly used for healing. If you're a Reiki or sound healing practitioner, you may invite this energy to assist and guide you during a
Mhm.
session as you work with clients. On a different level, I've come to understand that often trauma that has been sustained in the area of the second chakra, basically any energy damage to this field, would show up as an imbalance in the voice. Our voice can be considered an anchor that connects us with the universal source on one end
Mhm.
and grounds us to the earth in this current lifetime on the other. And in this capacity, it runs through all energy structures of our multidimensional self and resonates with all that we are. That sounds very broad and complex and abstract at first glance, but it simply means that our voice could be interpreted as the living imprint of our energy vibration overall, and that extends through all structures of our being. With that said, in order to address or resolve any imbalances in the voice that we may experience, we need to oftentimes adopt a multifaceted approach to healing. This simply means combining different modalities with the intent to balance this energy center. And I should throw in a caveat here that there is no one measure fits all approach here. I have found that different people use different means to
Mhm.
balance different energy centers. And I would encourage listeners to explore what works best for themselves, as there are so many energy healing modalities out there that it's hard to prescribe a single one of them as
Yeah.
being the best or most direct approach. I have found out through my practice and through talking to people that the most direct approach is the one that resonates the most with
Got it.
you.
Wow.
So, with that said, it doesn't really matter which energy healing modality we gravitate towards. For as long as we maintain the intent to heal a certain area, we will accomplish results in due time. And as I mentioned, some people prefer to focus on self healing through meditation, others choose a specific modality that they are more comfortable or familiar with. But the intent in all cases should remain the same to basically facilitate healing on all levels. So, based on my experience, I could offer a very simple daily practice for balancing the second chakra uh, while incorporating vocal toning and chanting. I would encourage people to, if they so choose to take a deep breath, and
Mhm.
as they hold the breath, may visualize a color of their choice,
Okay.
which they associate with creativity. And on the exhale, they can either sing or say or chant the seed mantra VAM, that is a Sanskrit mantra, and it is spelled VAM, but the pronunciation is VAM. And I would like to point out that the safe created sound can be a powerful tool for healing. This effect can be amplified by adding externally generated sound, such as a crystal ball or a drum.
Okay.
In this particular case, a crystal ball tuned to the key of D or Re would be a great accompaniment, as the note D corresponds to the sacral chakra. And here I'm going to incorporate a brief soundbite from one of my alchemy crystal balls.
Sure.
This is a conceit infused crystal ball, which is uh, tuned to the note of D, and the gemstone alchemy enhances the effect and it gives a unique voice to this ball. The stone itself has healing properties, aiding in improving one's emotional balance and bringing
Mhm.
heart-mind coherence, while gently dissolving any tension that may arise as a result of either stress, anxiety, or, for example, even after a heartbreak. So this lovely note has been a wonderful accompaniment in my daily practice, and here is uh, how it sounds.
Wow.
The gemstone alchemy, as you can see, gives it a very resonant voice, and it can go on for a couple of minutes, I would say, unless I stop it, which I'm going to do right now.
Wow.
Yes, the alchemy crystal balls are pure magic, is all I have to say. Once I was acquainted with them, I fell in love, and I have a very nice set, which I would be happy to introduce during our next podcast. But finally, for this particular episode, I wanted to mention one last thing to enhance this practice further. Listeners may use a crystal that they associate with creativity. For example, one of my favorite ones is sunstone or heliolite, which transmits this type of
Mm-hmm.
energy. Incorporating a crystal of your choosing in your daily meditation can be helpful in promoting vitality and can also stimulate the body's innate self-healing powers, which is what we all try to do with these complementary holistic health practices.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Fascinating. Now, when it comes to the sound healing, the sound you mentioned, that goes on for how long?
It can go up to 2 minutes if you let it go. There is a technique which is known as swirling. It's not a very technical name, but yes, you can extend the sound once you strike the bow gently. You can extend that for a few minutes at least, yes.
Beautiful. Wow. And show what's behind you in the picture behind you. Are those sound bowls or is that like a candle?
Yes, these are sound bowls. These are gemstone infused Empyrean crystal balls. And what you see behind me is the endocrine set, meaning these are the sharp notes. The yellow one is a citrine infused one, which incidentally also corresponds to the reproductive system that we kind of discussed very briefly here in this podcast. Then the one next to it corresponds to the throat chakra, the blue one, the aquamarine one, and it's uh, tuned to G sharp. The one next to it contains two alchemies. One is kyanite, and the other one is black tourmaline, and that is a C sharp, which anchors the root chakra. And then last but not least, we have the F sharp, which is a malachite infused. I chose that particular alchemy because it corresponds to the heart area and the thymus gland as well. And so these bows also happen to form perfect musical intervals. That is another reason why I chose them, because they generate sound harmonics as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And, with the work you're doing it here virtually with people. Do you work in person still too?
Not really, to be honest, or at least not at the time, not for the time being, I would say. There are many reasons why I don't do that, but mostly my intent has been to promote energy healing as
Yeah.
a distance healing modality because it seems to me that it is less popular as such. Some
Yeah.
people don't find it as tangible because they cannot meet in person. And that is why I offer also free consultations for Reiki training and voice spectrum analysis.
Yes.
And I also offer free monthly specials. These are half an hour free sessions for Reiki healing and sound healing as well, where people have an opportunity to see me and to experience what it feels like to listen to the crystal balls so from the comfort of your home, or to experience the Reiki healing. I recently had a prospective client who signed up for one of these specials, and she hadn't experienced distance Reiki. She wasn't even sure if it would work or not. She was surprised to find out how effective the energy was, even from a distance. And she's originally from the United States, but when she reached out to me, she was in Turkey. So never mind the hour difference or the difference in distance. That worked for her, and she was very happy. So I would say don't underestimate the power of energy healing. And one of the main reasons, as I mentioned, why I have this as a virtual practice is mostly to emphasize this. It can work from any place, literally
Wow.
from any place.
Amazing. I also something unique. I don't know if we ever discussed the voice analysis portion. Could you just share a little bit about that? What is that? How do you analyze voice and what does it say about someone?
Yes, the voice analysis portion is the one that generates the most interest and sparks people's curiosity. And it is a methodology that combines a medical astrology and sound healing. That's a very unique blend, and it is all based on the Hermetic principle as above, so below. The intent is to bring into balance the harmony of the spheres at the time of our birth, meaning the harmony of the planets and the constellations, with our own personal self expression here on Earth. It sounds a little abstract, but what it means is, as I mentioned in this segment here, our voice is the living imprint of the soul, and how whatever notes and tones we use more or happen to be missing from our voice kind of tell us the story of how we manifest and what areas in our body, believe it or not, may have certain imbalances. So, for example, I have a sun and moon in Sagittarius, but when I did
No.
the voice analysis for myself, I was missing the G sharp note. If you see behind me, that's the beautiful aquamarine blue Empyrean bow. I was missing that frequency, and there was no wonder that I felt at some point in time a little stuck. There seemed to be, I've reached a little bit of a plateau, and I needed to figure out a way on how to move forward. So when I did the voice analysis with Annie Williams, who is in essence my teacher in that discipline, she was not surprised to find out that I was missing that frequency that was the sun and moon signs. So shortly thereafter, I started toning to G sharp, and one can tone differently. There are mantras that one can use to enhance the toning practice, or one can just hum in one's voice. And soon enough, I was able to bring out that frequency in my voice. And thereafter, I was able to basically put together the holistic health practice. It took probably, as I may have mentioned in one of the previous podcasts, about 6 months, but I did do the voice analysis with Annie Williams in the spring of 2022, and in the late summer, I was able to formally establish the practice, and it didn't solidify until the next year because there are a lot of steps that are involved in setting up a practice, legal, financial, and so forth. So I officially came online in 2023 for about a year after I had done the initial voice analysis, but that tells you that you can accomplish quite a bit by bringing out the missing frequencies in your voice. And aside from that, I also noticed that it does help improve metabolism, also muscle strength. I know it sounds a little unbelievable, but once you start doing it regularly, and I would say every day, at least 15 minutes to half an hour, that can work wonders.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then, wow, I never heard of this at all until I met you. Something new in my life. Can
Yes,
you?
and a lot of people ask, yes, people, that sparks the most curiosity, but I would say that people then tend to think twice because it does not generate immediate results and it is not quite as tangible as the sound healing. I would say that people are most eager about sound healing because they can see the balls and they can hear them. Then Reiki is relatively speaking mainstream, and I'm not the only practitioner there is. Let's face it. So that is commonplace. But yes, the voice analysis is something that everyone asks about.
So cool. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we still have more time in the show. What else for today did you want to share?
I'm going to say anything that's on your mind, feel free to ask, or if you have encountered any questions as a host, be it related to Reiki or any other energy healing practice that I might be able to answer or speak to from my experience, feel free.
Absolutely, of course, because energy healing and Reiki, which not everyone is aware about. I don't even know if we really discussed it this show, but if you are tuning in and new to it all, just give us a quick little overview about the benefits of Reiki and what energy healing is, and then we'll chat about it.
So, as we have stated many times, it's a complementary healing modality, all three that I
Yep.
offer, but most notably Reiki and sound healing. And the intent is basically to help the body activate its own self-healing powers. My sound healing teacher likes to use the term safe container, and I really love that because that's what I think the crystal balls create. They create an energy space around us, which is a safe container where the body can feel relaxed for one, but then the body's innate powers start to reactivate so it can heal itself. People don't often think about it, but the body is an intelligent device. And I would say, listen
Mm-hmm.
to your body, listen to your impulses. Don't ignore them, don't try to overthink them. If you need rest, rest. If you feel like you need to listen to music, listen to music. It's a wonderful healing tool. So, yes, what we do with these complementary practices is, and as Albert Schweitzer had said it, we physicians do nothing, we just encourage the physician within.
Beautiful. Now, for someone who may be, okay, dealing with burnout, time and time again, we heard this after the pandemic about burnout, overworking, doing too much, running yourself, tearing to the ground. But can that be helped with energy healing to calm someone, to help them get back on track, to get refocused and to, get back in the groove and not overwork and overdo it and feel empty inside?
Yes, it can, but I would say that in this case, the shift will be incremental. I'm familiar with burnout and I know that it doesn't happen overnight. It accrues, it happens over time. And because of that, it also takes a little bit longer to come back online. The case may be, depending on the level of burnout, that someone may have to take time off, like probably a month to to say the least, sometimes even more depending on the level, and try to turn themselves towards their own self-healing. It would probably mean doing, or if they can do self-reiki, that would be ideal because they can do a little bit every day. But just doing some sessions a few times a week, including possibly with sound healing. But Reiki, I would say for burnout is to start with perhaps the best. And I would encourage people who feel that way to, and who may be open to receiving Reiki attunements to do so, because it is one thing to go to a practitioner. Yes, it would be helpful for them to get this energy boost, but it
Yeah.
would be a few times a week. Whereas if they have even the Reiki 1 activation, which is the hands-on activation, they can do it every day to themselves for a small amount of time, and that will work wonders as well. So I would say healing would help, energy healing would help, but it would be incremental, and starting with Reiki would be my recommendation, and then moving on to any other modality. And mostly Reiki, because you can experience the energy boost right away if you are receiving it from a practitioner, or you can receive the attunements and then you can do it on your own.
Awesome. 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 Now, I've heard people say that energy healing has helped them when it comes to having cancer. Now, is it possible that energy healing can help? I can't say the word cure, but to dissipate cancer? Have you ever seen that before? Or is it really just to help with the pain of cancer?
I would say it is mostly to help maintain a certain energy level. I would shy away from saying heal
Yeah. Yeah.
completely. I would say it may make the body more resilient to whatever treatment they're receiving. And when I say
Hmm.
resilient, I don't mean less receptive, but just mean the body would be better able to tolerate whatever the treatment may be.
Yeah.
And it would be able to give them some composure and some comfort as well. Um, and especially I would say that the Reiki combined with sound healing, that would also ease the mind, but also provide this energy boost to the body. I would say the combination of the two would be helpful.
Beautiful. And what would you say the most common thing people come to you for when it comes to energy healing?
Most likely energy boost, I would say. For the most part, at least at this stage in my practice, it's mostly people who are coming for an energy boost, or they're looking to somehow up level. Either they have their own practice and they're looking to add either Reiki to it, or need some advice on how to incorporate Reiki with other modalities. So at this stage, it is either people who are in need of a bit of an energy boost, or those who are on a spiritual path and are looking for ways to grow.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And also, just another question about energy healing. And people out there may say, well, I don't understand how, if you're not in front of me, how could this transfer? Do you deal with a lot of skeptical people at first starting? And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is amazing.
Um, well, energy works, especially with Reiki, it works through the subtle body. Sound healing is just a vibration, as we have discussed, and as we entrain with a certain note or with a certain tone, our energy field changes. So it is not necessarily a miracle. It is simply, I would say, at some point, a law of physics. So whether we like to believe in that or not, or whether we see it as such, that is all there is to energy healing.
Interesting. Ooh, thank you for this. All right, exciting stuff. We are almost out of time. Before I say goodbye, I got to ask one last question about energy healing. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you have to keep coming back? Is it one and done, or there's like an upkeep with it? Do people need to stick with it and have a few sessions and maybe come in for tweaks every now and then?
I would say it is definitely not one and done. I hate to disappoint anyone who might think it is, but it is not. You do need upkeep, and my goal is not to make people dependent, but rather to make them self-sufficient. So it would be helpful if they can come either a couple of times a week, or let's say once every week in the course of a couple of months. But then if it is Reiki that they're coming to me for, I would really encourage them to take the Reiki 1 and 2 level courses and just receive the attunement, so then they can do it on their own. Of course, if they need an extra energy boost, they can always come. I myself, as a practitioner, occasionally need also that extra energy boost, and I will go to other practitioners. So it is one of those things, upkeep matters. And yes, every once in a while, getting an energy boost from somebody else does help too. As with sound healing, I do offer recordings of the sessions so people can listen to them however long they would like to. So with that said, it is also not one and done. I wouldn't say requires an upkeep, but it is desirable that people immerse themselves in those sounds whenever they need to. It helps the body reactivate its own healing powers. The more often we do it, the more used to our body becomes to this type of energy healing, and then we can just think of it and we are there, instead of just having to receive these energy boosts through a holistic health practitioner.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us. Always appreciate it. And how can
Thank
we
you for
reach out
having
to
me.
you? Thank you.
Yes, people can find me online, as I mentioned, on almost social media platforms, Instagram most notably, but also Twitter and Facebook as well. And my website is www.astraeahealingconnection.com, and my direct email is info@astraeahealingconnection.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day, and looking
Thank
forward to
you.
the next time we connect. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Likewise, thank you.
Bye
Have a nice
bye.
afternoon. Bye.
Same here. Thank you. Enjoy.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.